Mr. Speaker, yet another week has passed, and the Pennsylvania House of Representatives has not done anything to address the epidemic of gun violence that is plaguing and devastating our entire nation. Since the Republican majority first began to bury the Democratic efforts of considering life-saving, widely supported gun safety measures, 85 people across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania have lost their lives to gun violence, and 29 people across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania have been injured in gunfire. Every day that we in this chamber do not do anything simply results in more blood being shed senselessly in all of our neighborhoods. Despite what some believe, this is not only a problem that we see in our larger cities in Pennsylvania. Gun violence has been devastating communities in every part of our Commonwealth, both rural, suburban, as well as urban communities. Democratic communities, Republican communities, Black communities, white communities, Latino communities, Asian communities. We are not one or insular in who has been victimized as a result. No matter where you are from or who you represent, the threat to our children, to our parents, to our grandparents, to our veterans is more real now than it has ever been. In the last 2 weeks, the Pennsylvania House Democratic Caucus has shown tremendous leadership from the minority party, while we've made efforts to force votes on sensible gun safety measures. Let's take a look at the measures that we have tried to get a vote on the floor of this House. A red flag bill that would make sure that family members are able to let law enforcement know that a person who's in crisis can be disarmed temporarily. Another bill that would raise the minimum age to owning assault rifles to 21 years old. Another bill that would give local elected officials the able to enact their own gun laws to protect their very own communities in every corner of the Commonwealth. Another bill will require that all guns be safely stored when they are not in use. Another bill that would prohibit the sale of military-style assault weapons, which we all know are weapons of war. And of course, just today, a few moments ago, one of my Democratic colleagues announced his intent to force a vote on a bill that would provide for universal background checks. Yet despite our best efforts in the minority, our friends across the aisle, our colleagues in the majority party have defeated every single effort to enact sensible gun safety measures. In fact, not only have they been defeated, but instead there has not even been a debate, not even a discussion where we can decide, let's come to a table, let's talk about what could work, let's put up proposals that we can all support together. Nevertheless, while this seems very hopeless, when I drive back down the turnpike to my community, which continues to be devastated by this bloodshed, and I don't have anything good to report on about what we've done to keep guns out of the hands of wrong people, I'm going to be hopeful. I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to most importantly be determined, because even when we look at the news, Washington, D.C., which is known to not work in a bipartisan manner, which is known to not work across the aisle, in Washington, D.C., in the United States Capitol, we are seeing Republicans and Democrats to sit down, negotiate, and compromise. Compromise on measures that will save lives. If they're doing this in Washington, D.C., I know that we can do it here in Harrisburg, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And to that end, Mr. Speaker, as we continue on in budget negotiations and simply recess with the House, I invite every single one of my colleagues to let's have meaningful discussions. The majority leader, the chairman in the majority for the Judiciary Committee, the rank and file members, what are the ideas that can work? How can we save lives? How can we prevent bloodshed bloodshed. There are people dying. What is it that we are equipped to do so that we can ensure that we're not up here playing politics, that we're not up here beholden to any organizations or groups, but to make sure that we are in fact doing everything within our power while we have access to this power, while we have abilities to vote on legislation, that we are doing everything within our power to prevent the epidemic of gun violence spreading any further across the Commonwealth. And with that being said, the door is open. Let's put our politics aside. Let's sit down. Let's work on this issue, because I want to tell my constituents, of course, my neighbors in the 191st District and my colleagues in my caucus, that this is the year during this budget discussion that we were able to pass something that was able to not just change lives, but to save lives. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.